Bell Hooks, was she just a feminist or something more? Bell Hooks was born on September 25th, 1952 in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. She was actually born Gloria Jean Waltons, and she was one of 6 siblings, 5 sisters and a baby brother. Her father worked as a janitor and her mother worked in the homes of white families. Many people tend to cite Hooks as just a writer. However, she is more than that. She is not only a writer, but she tends to analyze the functions when it comes to our culture, when it comes down to race, gender, sexual orientation, class, etc. She's not just a writer. She is a feminist. Hooks' famous book, Ain't I a Woman, talks about sexism and racism when it comes to a lot of women, particularly black women. Fun fact, she wrote this book when she was 19 years old while attending college. Many people just thought that she was the quiet, very soft-spoken young girl. However, she was teaching people, particularly women and black women, to talk back and not face authority anymore. The reason why Bell Hooks' contribution is very, very, very important, especially to me, is because she was able to challenge feminists, particularly white feminists, when it came to race and sexual challenges. A lot of times it was usually the white feminists that tend to be protesting and challenging the government and challenging other people to give them equal rights. But what about the black people? As I stated in my assignment, I really want to get into the acting field. And Bell Hooks' theory has definitely sparked an interest in me. The reason why it's that way, because Hollywood, despite of its many progress and upgrades, is unfortunately still dealing with sexism, racism, and stereotypical roles, especially for women and black people. While studying in communication and media studies, we have spoken about many, many, many theories. However, Bell Hooks' theory has definitely been connected to the culture theory that we discussed while in class. While talking about the culture theory, we also discussed about how women were often objectified and often seen in the media. I know what a lot of you guys are probably thinking. Aren't we talking about Bell Hooks? Who is this other woman? This other woman is named Jean Kilbourne. She was a former model and she is now an activist. She made a video discussing the dangerous ways of how advertisement can make many people see women. Unfortunately, there are a lot of young women and young teenage girls who are suffering from self-esteem issues and being very, very self-conscious when it comes to their body, their skin complexion, their height, etc. And it's really because of the modeling industry. America has basically put this one European standard of beauty for a lot of young women to follow. Not all women are white. Not all women are going to be slender. Not all girls are going to have the perfect body. You are perfect the way you are, no matter the skin tone, no matter the race you are, no matter the height, just your body weight, etc. Growing up as a darker skinned girl in America, I have definitely faced this. I have suffered from self-esteem issues. I was very self-conscious when it came to my body as well. Now, I wouldn't say I'm obese, but there are days where I think, maybe if I was a little smaller, maybe I could be seen as beautiful. But you're perfect just the way you are. While attending communication and media studies in my sophomore year, I was reading a book called Gender and Pop Culture, which was written by Patricia Levy. Apologies for the mispronunciation. And she talks about advertisement and gender roles when it comes to commercials and advertisements. When you see a woman in an advertisement or a commercial, not all the time, but there are a lot of times where they're just seen as sex objects. They're in skimpy clothing, lingerie, sexy garments, etc. I cannot sit here and say that there's nothing wrong about being sexy. I just can't say that. I do have a problem when men and women are objectified as just sex objects rather than human beings. And I highly doubt Bell Hooks would approve of this message either. These two definitely connect because they talk about gender. They talk about how females are often portrayed and how females are should be seen as or behave. As of today, Bell Hooks is still very much alive and continues to spread her word and ideals to the world. There's still a lot more work that needs to be done. However, I can honestly say that it's a lot better than it was back in the 1950s and 60s.